A man came back from the gym and tried to pick up his package, but his neighbor called 911 on him. Within 8 minutes, 2 patrol cars pulled up. Within 12 minutes, he was handcuffed and on his knees in his own driveway. But what the police found next would shock everyone in that neighborhood. Because the real thief had been operating right under their noses for 3 months, stealing packages, selling them online, and the person protecting him? The same woman who made that call. September 19th, 2023, 6:47 in the morning. Malik Thompson pulled into his driveway in Pinewood Estates after his usual gym session. Exhausted, drenched in sweat, black hoodie, gym shorts. All he wanted was a hot shower and coffee. But when he stepped onto his porch, he noticed 3 Amazon boxes sitting there. He bent down and checked the labels. 445 Pinewood Drive. 446 Pinewood Drive. 449 Pinewood Drive. None of them said 447. His address. Delivery drivers mess this up constantly. Packages end up on the wrong porches. You just walk them over to the right house. That's exactly what Malik planned to do. He scooped up all 3 boxes and started walking down the street. Box under one arm, 2 more stacked in his other hand. Black hoodie, gym clothes. Early morning. And that's when Evelyn Price saw him. Evelyn was 72 years old, retired school teacher, lived at 446 Pinewood Drive for 31 years. She'd watched this neighborhood change over the years, new families moving in, people who didn't look like her, and she didn't like it. Every morning, she'd sit in her living room with her coffee and watch the street through her lace curtains, keeping an eye on things, making mental notes. She'd seen Malik before, maybe 3 or 4 times over the 2 years he'd lived there, but she'd never bothered to learn his name, never waved. In her mind, he was just that renter. She didn't know he owned his house, didn't care to find out. That morning, she was sitting in her usual spot when she saw him, a black man in a dark hoodie carrying multiple packages, walking between houses. And in that moment, every news report she'd ever seen about package thieves flashed through her mind. Every Ring doorbell video, every neighborhood Facebook post warning about suspicious activity. She grabbed her phone and dialed 911. The call lasted 2 minutes and 37 seconds. The dispatcher asked her to describe what she was seeing. She said there was a suspicious male, approximately 30 years old, wearing all black, taking packages from multiple porches. Not just suspicious. The way she said it carried weight, urgency, fear. "He's definitely up to something," she said. "I've lived here 31 years. I know who belongs here and who doesn't." The dispatcher asked if she could see him right now. She said yes, he was walking toward the end of the street. The dispatcher said units were on the way. Stay inside, don't approach him. Evelyn stayed at her window, watching. Malik had no idea any of this was happening. He'd already dropped off the first package at 4:45. An older couple lived there. He left it by their door. Then he walked to 446, Evelyn's house. He stepped onto her porch and set the box down by her mailbox. Then he turned to head to 449. That's when the police cars came around the corner. 2 of them, lights flashing, no sirens. They moved fast. Malik froze. His first thought was that something happened in the neighborhood. An accident maybe, a break-in. The cars screeched to a stop right in front of him. Doors flew open. 2 officers jumped out, hands already on their holsters. "Drop the box! Hands in the air! Now!" Malik's entire body went cold. This wasn't a question. This wasn't a conversation. This was a command. And the tone told him everything he needed to know. Stay calm, don't argue, don't raise your voice. Just cooperate. He'd been here before. Not exactly this, but close enough. Pulled over for matching a description. Stopped and frisked outside a grocery store. Watched a little too closely in department stores. This was just another version of the same thing. He carefully set the box on the ground, raised both hands high, palms open. Hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers. He did it. No hesitation. The officers approached fast. One of them was Officer Reed. White guy, mid-40s, 15 years on the force. The other was Officer Holt, younger, late 20s. Both of them looked tense. Reed's hand was still on his gun. On your knees! Malik's heart was pounding now. His mouth went dry. I live right there, he said, voice steady but quiet. 447. Those packages were delivered to the wrong... I said on your knees! Malik dropped to his knees. Pavement dug into his shins. Hands still behind his head. He could feel eyes on him. Neighbors peeking through blinds. Someone probably recording. Reed moved behind him, grabbed his wrists. Cold metal clicked around them. Handcuffs. You're being detained for investigation, Reed said. Don't move. Malik didn't move. Didn't speak. Just breathed. In and out. Slowly. The cuffs were tight. His shoulders ached from the angle. Holt picked up the package Malik had been holding, checked the label. 449 Pinewood Drive, he said. Reed came around to face Malik. What's your name? Malik Thompson. Where do you live? 447? Right there? He nodded toward his house with his head. What are you doing with packages that don't belong to you? They were delivered to my house by mistake. I was returning them. Reed exchanged a look with Holt, skeptical. You do this a lot? Walk around with other people's mail? When they end up on my porch, yeah. I bring them to the right address. Uh-huh. You have ID? In my pocket. Wallet. Right side. Reed reached into Malik's pocket and pulled out his wallet, flipped it open, checked the license. 447 Pinewood Drive. He glanced at the house behind Malik. Same number, but he didn't take the cuffs off. Where were you coming from? The gym. I just got home. What gym? Planet Fitness, on Westbrook. What time? I left around 6:15. Reed looked him up and down. Hoodie, gym shorts, sneakers, sweat stains. The story matched, but his face didn't change. We got a call about someone stealing packages in this neighborhood. Can you explain why someone would think that? Malik bit back the response he wanted to give. Instead, he said, I can't explain what someone else thinks. Reed didn't like that. His jaw tightened. You got an attitude? No, sir. Then answer the question. Stay calm. Just cooperate. I don't know why someone would think that. I'm just returning packages to the right houses. Reed pulled out his phone. I'm going to need to verify your story. You got a doorbell camera? Yeah. We're going to need to see it. Okay. Reed finally uncuffed him. Malik's wrists were red. He rubbed them slowly, trying not to look angry, trying not to look like anything. They followed him to his front door. He pulled up the Ring app on his phone with shaking hands and showed them the footage. 6:42 a.m. Delivery truck pulls up. Driver tosses 3 boxes onto Malik's porch without checking the numbers. Drives off. 6:47 a.m. Malik pulls into his driveway, gets out of his car, walks to the porch, picks up the boxes, checks the labels, starts walking. Reed watched it. His expression didn't change. No apology, no acknowledgement that he'd just cuffed an innocent man on his own property. All right, that checks out. That's it. That checks out. But Reed didn't leave. He kept scrolling through the footage, going back. Days. Weeks. What are you doing? Malik asked. There's been package thefts in this area. Since we're here, I'm taking a look. Malik wanted to say no. Wanted to tell him to get off his property. But he knew how that would go. So he just stood there, silent. Reed scrolled back. September 18th, 17th, 16th, looking for anything suspicious. And then he stopped. September 12th, 2:14 p.m. A figure in a gray hoodie walked up to Malik's porch, grabbed a package, and left. Face hidden. Quick. Efficient. Reed paused the video. You order anything on September 12th? Malik thought about it. Yeah, a laptop stand. Never showed up. Reed's expression shifted. He rewound and played it again. It didn't get lost. He scrolled back further. August 29th, same gray hoodie, same method. August 15th, July 23rd, every couple weeks, same person. Reed pulled out his radio. Dispatch, pull all package theft reports for Pinewood Estates, last 3 months. Static crackled. Copy. Stand by. A minute later, his phone buzzed. 14 incidents, all within 3 blocks. Reed's eyes narrowed. Someone's been working this neighborhood. He looked at the footage again, zoomed in. In one clip from August, the person turned slightly. Not enough for a face, but enough to see a tattoo on their left forearm. Send me this footage, Reed said. Malik forwarded it. Over the next 40 minutes, Reed went door to door collecting camera footage. Most houses had Ring doorbells. They handed over clips. Some mentioned stolen packages, too. Reed documented everything. The break came from house 451. Gerald, an older man with a driveway camera that caught part of the street. In a clip from September 5th, the person in the gray hoodie walked to a black Honda Civic parked 2 houses down. Reed zoomed in on the plate. Ran it. Registered to Connor Price. 22 years old. Address, 446 Pinewood Drive. Reed's face went pale. That's the house where the caller lives. He walked back to Evelyn's door and knocked. She opened, still looking self-righteous. Yes? Ma'am, does Connor Price live here? Her face shifted, confused, defensive. That's my grandson. Why? Is he home? He's asleep. He works nights. What's going on? I need to speak with him. Evelyn hesitated, then called upstairs. Connor! Police are here! Footsteps. Slow. Heavy. A young man appeared at the top of the stairs. Messy hair, tank top, sweatpants. And on his left forearm, clear as day, was the tattoo. Reed's hand moved back to his holster. Connor Price, come downstairs. Slowly. Connor's eyes went wide. He looked at his grandmother, then at Reed. He knew. For a second, it looked like he might bolt. Don't even think about it, Reed said. Connor's shoulders sagged. He walked down slowly, hands visible. Evelyn's voice rose. What is this about? Reed kept his eyes on Connor. We have video footage of you stealing packages from multiple homes in this neighborhood over the past 3 months. Evelyn gasped. What? No, that's impossible. Connor wouldn't... Grandma, stop. She stared at him, mouth open. Connor? He wouldn't look at her. Reed pulled out his cuffs. Turn around. Connor did. Reed cuffed him and started reading his rights. Evelyn started crying, loud, gasping sobs. No, there has to be a mistake. He wouldn't do this. Holt stayed with her while Reed walked Connor to the car. Neighbors were coming outside now, watching, filming. Evelyn sat on her porch steps, head in her hands. How long has he been living with you? Holt asked. 6 months. He lost his job. I told him he could stay until he got back on his feet. Did you know he was selling things online? She looked up, mascara streaked. He said he was doing resale. Thrift stores. I didn't ask. And then it hit her. The man in the hoodie. The 911 call. Her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. I called the police on the wrong person. Holt didn't respond, just wrote in his notebook. Evelyn stood, shaking. I need to apologize. Where is he? At his house. She walked down the street, arms wrapped around herself, tears streaming. Malik was in his driveway when he saw her coming. He didn't move. She stopped a few feet away, couldn't look at him. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I didn't know. I thought... You thought I was a criminal. I thought I was keeping the neighborhood safe. By assuming the worst about me. She flinched. I was wrong. I know that now. Malik stared at her, hard. You know what it's like to be on your knees in your own driveway?
Handcuffed? While your neighbors watch? She started crying again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Your apology doesn't change that I can't walk to my mailbox now without wondering if someone's watching me, wondering if they're going to call the cops again.
I didn't mean...
You didn't mean to, but you did, and that's the problem. He turned and walked inside, door closed behind him. Evelyn stood there for a long time, then walked home. Connor Price confessed to everything. 14 counts of theft, $6,000 in stolen goods sold online. He pleaded guilty, got 2 years probation and community service. Malik never got his packages back. Insurance covered some, not all. He installed 3 more cameras, started checking over his shoulder when he left the house, stopped making eye contact with neighbors.
Every time a cop car drove past, his heart rate spiked.
6 months later, he moved. Not because he was scared, not because he was angry, because he was tired. Tired of remembering. Evelyn never spoke to him again. She'd see him sometimes before he left, in his driveway, getting his mail. She'd look away, ashamed. But shame doesn't undo harm. Here's the thing. This story happens every day. Someone sees something, makes an assumption, calls the police, and someone's life changes. Sometimes it ends with handcuffs and an apology. Sometimes it ends with a bullet. The real tragedy isn't just what happened to Malik. It's that Evelyn's fear gave Connor cover. For 3 months, while she was watching for threats from the outside, the real threat was inside her own home. She profiled an innocent man and protected a guilty one. She thought she was protecting the neighborhood, but the only person she ever protected was the thief. If this story made you think, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into real events. Drop a comment. Should Evelyn have faced consequences? Or was her grandson's arrest punishment enough? Let's talk. Thanks for watching.